what happens to your coaches when your players don't like you that much. Pour stuff away.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you,
We're going to
thank you.
start right up here in front with Kevin Baxter. If we can bring the microphone up here for Kevin Baxter, LA Times.
Heads up.
Hello, Greg. Congratulations.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks for coming. I know you're going to talk a lot about the players and staff and all the things that happened, but I want to ask you first about you, what this means for you, because you got beat up for 3 years. You kept the faith. You put this club together. Will gave you the players, but you made them perform. What satisfaction do you have, and what does this mean for you?
Yeah, I'm proud of the group, you know, as much as anything. I mean, for me, I'm excited. This is what we do this for, is to try to have these moments with the fans, with the players, with our staff. Personally, this is also why I do it, is to try to win championships, try to continue to push this league forward in any way I can, but just to enjoy these moments with my family and everybody else. So I'm happy too, because again, I've said this many times, but lost 3 here, and finally to win 1 is nice, because I'll go back and say we're all here because of Mr. Anschutz, and I mean the entire league, and so I'm happy for him. And you know, we all have our reasons why, and who people we work for, and you know, Mr. Anschutz gave me my opportunity to play here and to play professional soccer, and so for him, I'm happy, and it was great to see him after the game. I know he's proud of this group as well.
Our next,
Sorry.
our next questions will come from Scott French, followed by Steve Goff, and then Jeff Carlisle of ESPN. Scott?
Hey, Greg, can you talk a little bit about Gaston, putting him in the lineup? What was the thinking? What point did you know that he was going to be the man, and what he gave you today?
As we came out of the last game and we knew we were going to play Red Bulls, it was obviously it's a tough decision, because Diego's been incredible all year. Obviously, you have a guy like Marco, who we weren't quite sure, but we were hoping he was going to be ready. But for me, it was coming down to the battles in the midfield, the competitive side, the ability to again just win the middle of the park against a team like that, especially early in the game when they usually like to have it really like fast and pressing and disruptive. To me, they came out a little bit slower than I was expecting them to come out, but we came out fast, like we were prepared for that game, and Gaston was able to step in, win balls. He played an incredible pass through the lines. I mean, he was a warrior in both directions, and I'm happy for him, because it hasn't been the smoothest of seasons. He's gone through a really tough injury last year into the beginning of this year. He missed the Miami game, which he was fighting to get ready for, and I just didn't think he was quite ready, and he missed that, and that hurt him. And he's been fighting all year, and he's, like I said, he's a warrior. He's been a top guy in our club, and one of the leaders in our locker room. So I'm really happy for him. I thought he was outstanding. I think he showed he was the right choice, and he was a difference maker today. So he deserves this moment.
We're going to go to Steve Goff, Jeff Carlisle, and then we're going to come down to Damon Calhoun and Joe Reedy. Steve?
Hey, Greg. Congratulations.
Steve,
What is this? It's been a while for this Galaxy organization. What does this mean to finally get that championship again, and in the big picture, the impact that something like this brings?
I think this is kind of the stamp that's we're back. You know, I think this year this team has proven, from the quality of soccer and the group and the quality of players, style of play, all those things that this group has shown that the quality is there and the quality is back. But at the Galaxy, it's about winning championships, and I think that was going into this week. That was the thing. Like, we've proven, I think, that we're back as an organization, and now it's to prove that we're back as champions and we're on top again. And these guys did it, and they cemented their legacy in what is a club with incredible history and legacy. And I'm proud of them. That will bond them together as a group for forever. And I think it shows to our fans across the world and everywhere else that they're getting what they expected and what they were hoping for, and they should be proud of themselves and the group for all the support and interaction this year, and the environment and the atmosphere in our stadium all year has been amazing. We went unbeaten all the way through the season here in the stadium. And I think that's a collaboration between, again, the support and the atmosphere and the players and the energy that are being put out there. And I can't be happier for the group. And like I said, Dan Beckerman, obviously Mr. Anschutz, Will, all the guys upstairs, our staff, the players, our families, all across our team and everywhere else who put up with us, especially mine, who have to put up with me when I'm like so immersed in what I'm doing all the time, and they're checking to see if I'm actually like alive or around. But yeah, I'm grateful for all of them and happy for where they are right now and feeling this emotion. Diego has been 14 years in this league. 10 years ago to the day, I think he lost here, and now 10 years ago to the day, he's been able to win one, and he deserves one too, and I couldn't be prouder for him too.
I'll go to Jeff Carlisle.
Right here, Greg.
Okay, Jeff. Sorry.
Jeff Carlisle, ESPN. You talked a lot about Gaston, but I was wondering if you could just talk about the play of the entire midfield, including Edwin and Mark. And you probably didn't have as much possession in this game as you're used to having, but how much of that was by design, or how much of that did you anticipate?
Well, I think having a working midfield in there today was obviously, it was intentional, and the goal of it was to try to free up our wingers and Dayon a little bit more to be able to try to attack or transition and attack, and for us to be a little more aggressive through the middle of the park for the day to try to win it. I think the product of a little bit of having less possession was the fact that we got up 2-0, and I thought we were incredible in the first 20 minutes. I thought just every duel, every second ball, I think they just felt a wave that was just coming at them. And unfortunately, around 20 or 25, we got a little bit passive, I felt like, and they started to find a little bit of their way in the game through set pieces and other things. But we wanted to win the midfield. That was important for us. And those three guys, if you want to win the midfield from a defensive standpoint and from a ball-winning standpoint and all that, these are three guys that can do it. They're as good as anyone in our league at doing stuff like that, and they cover ground, and they did that. Obviously, they're good soccer players, and they can help us keep possession. But for us, we thought this would be a battle, and so we had our warriors in there to go to battle.
We're going to come down here on the right in front with Damon Calhoun.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Danny.
When you guys started the roster build, why was John McCarthy the guy you guys selected for keeper, and how did he separate himself to take over the job? And also your thoughts on the play of Emiro today.
First, John, we felt like, I felt like too, and Will in our discussions, when you come out of a season like last year, it's really difficult on a goalkeeper that, when you're taking goals and you're not winning games, and there was, Bondi's a really good goalkeeper, and just felt like going into the season we needed a guy with a big personality, a guy with a loud voice, with big presence behind, and it needed to be someone with experience, whether that was to help Novak or to win the position, but as a combination we needed these two guys. And right from the start, I think John showed that his maturity, his personality. I said to someone the other day, when the ball comes back to John McCarthy, he's making a decision either to clear the ball or to pass it, and he doesn't care what anyone else thinks. He's trying to make the decision that he thinks is best for him. He's not trying to please anyone in the situation. He's playing the game as he sees the game. And I think sometimes you kind of need that, because sometimes if you don't try to slide the pass through the middle of the midfield, some of our guys are going to bite you because you didn't try it, and that can also be dangerous. But John was making his decisions in the way he felt we needed to win games, and that takes a big personality and maturity, and I felt like he was that guy for us all year. And then, of course, he can make the saves and stuff, but it all comes down to me, just like presence and personality, and he showed it for us all through the season. Yeah, I mean, Emmy was outstanding, and he was kind of what we've been billing for a while. Like he's just so athletic, and he's a defender, and he's a warrior. And the amount of times they try to put balls in behind our back line, and they may even have a head start, and he recovers. He covers ground. He's an eraser of type. If you make a mistake, or if somebody gets caught in the wrong position on a play, because it happens quick, he's getting across and he's dealing with it. He probably had 4 or 5 moments like that over the course of the game where he shows his incredible speed and athleticism and his his recognition of situations, and he just cleans up moments. And against a team like this, where sometimes the game, where they're going to try to go behind you and they're going to try to play into space sometimes quickly in transitions, to have a guy like that is huge on a day like today. And you know, he was excellent. You know, he battled too. I think he was starting to cramp, or guys were saying it was really dry and hot, especially in the first half. And I felt like, you know, it was starting to wear on him a little bit, but he gutted it out, and I thought he was outstanding. Won some headers in there too. It's just some really good play.
We're going to go right here with Joe Reedy down in front, then Joseph DiPolito, and then we're going to take a couple from Zoom.
Yeah, great, congrats. Third straight year, a team that didn't make the playoffs the year before has lifted the MLS Cup. Just how much does that show the parity of the league, but also that you can do a quick roster rebuild and get back to the top real quick?
Well, I think it's possible. I mean, I think the purpose of this league and the way it's structured is for there to be parity, and, you know, playing on the road is really difficult. There's a lot of things that can balance teams out, and small things often make the difference. Like you said, if you have a good plan and the players you bring in fit into that plan, and you get the most out of those guys, you can make a difference in this league. And you know, New York didn't have a great regular season. They had a great postseason. They found the little formula for them at the end that made them a really good team, and a team that was difficult to beat. And in the playoffs, you can make that kind of a run. That's happened many a time in this league, and you see that around MLS a lot. Teams that maybe don't have all the pieces one year have the pieces they need the next year, and then again things come together and they make a run. And so it's possible. That's one of the beauties of our league, is it's possible. And I think that's now with next year 30 teams, we're getting more and more different approaches to how teams want to build rosters and how they're looking to try to be successful and win, and defining success. And I think that's exciting for a league. Having been here when the league was 10 teams, you know, to have 30 teams is really amazing. And to see the different ways teams are going about it's fun. It makes the league really interesting, and every weekend is different, and that's exciting as well.
We're going to go over here with Joseph DiPolito, and then we're going to go to Paul Tenorio on Zoom, and then John Lupo on Zoom.
Okay, Joseph DiPolito, The Guardian. You talked about your defense, but can you talk about how Nelson marked Morgan, and how your defense as a whole essentially kept Morgan and Banzile and Forsberg in check?
Well, I think as Emmy started to get healthy and fit, and, you know, John started to, well, Julian got injured. John got a great run of games where I think he really settled into the group. With Emmy and John, Maya was the guy all year, right? And Mickey was pretty much the guy all year. But John and Emmy, as they came into the group, they are defenders first in many ways, and their instincts are defensive. And I think it gave us really good balance inside of our team. Guys who are not necessarily thinking about all their possessions and all the attacking runs and all those kinds of things, but guys that are really like instinctual on the defensive side. They anticipate, they read, good one-on-one defenders. Obviously, Emmy with his speed, his ability to deal with players that think they're fast, and then they realize he's really fast. So I think, again, I thought we just found a balance where those guys started to really work well together, and their instincts started to really help our team because we have such an attacking group. These guys were very good at dealing with situations and dealing with really good players as a unit and sometimes individually. And I felt like those two guys specifically, their instincts coming into our backline really helped solidify things for us over the second half of the season. And obviously Edwin growing into that position as well, and a guy who can just cover so much ground and protecting the group in front. And obviously today with Gaston and Mark also being able to cover in between. If one guy's releasing, one of those midfielders was dropping in and covering in between. So they just worked well as a unit today and did good work.
We're going to go to Zoom. Paul Tenorio, your line should now be open.
Thanks, Lauren. Congratulations, Greg, on a championship. I want to latch onto something you said earlier about always wanting to move the league forward. You obviously built something special in Toronto, and kind of what you guys went for with Jovinko. Similar mindset this offseason, to have an owner willing to say yes to the budget it took to go get Peck and Paintsill. You've been a part of this league since the beginning. Next year is 30 seasons of MLS. I wonder, in your opinion, when you're a part of a project like this one at the Galaxy, where do you think this goes next? And how does the Galaxy as a club think about that idea of pushing the league and moving it forward and kind of being ambitious in that way? Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think for our club is, you kind of saw this year when the DP spots opened up, we didn't necessarily go look for guys with big names and huge careers already and that are kind of behind them. We went for guys that are hungry and super talented and athletic and fit our style of play, which is important. They fit with the guys that we had, and we knew they were going to help make those guys better and make our team better. And we tried to build on a vision that these guys, they came here, well, again, with the desire to win, but also with the desire to keep improving and to keep building on their careers as well. And so everyone has the right to do it their own way, and there's many ways, and a lot of different ways have been successful. But for us, it was as much like investing in talent that it was on the upswing, and we also means we could potentially have continuity over years. And when hopefully these players, if they do move on from us, they go for big transfer fees that help reinvest back in the team and back into the academy and back into the things that can keep moving our club forward and our league forward. And so for us, it was that. But it started with, it was about our style of play, about the profiles that we wanted, and finding guys that we felt like really fit with the guys we had. And we're on the upswing. And these guys, the guys that came in with Gabe and Joe, and to start with them, I mean, their ability to adapt to this league quickly and just have incredible seasons is not always the case for young players who come from the outside into our league, and they hit the ground running and had huge seasons. Four guys with over 10 goals, and all of those guys I think are under the age of 25, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty cool. So that's our our belief and what we've been pushing, and also again investing and trying to bring the academy players through, because I do believe as this league continues, it is going to be about the domestic player over time, and we need to also keep pursuing the growth on that side of things.
Our final question will go to John Lupo from Zoom. We do have waiting outside Maya Yoshida and John McCarthy. So as soon as coach is finished with us, we will be bringing in two players. Go ahead, John.
Thank you. Greg, first of all, congratulations on a well-fought and well-earned title. I just wanted to ask you a quick two-part question. First of all, you mentioned the defense. Can you just talk about Maya Yoshida's effort? I thought he was really the man of the match, the way he cleared some balls, dangerous balls out of there, and just his overall work rate and just his defensive performance. And also with club legends like Landon Donovan and Robbie Keane on hand, can you just talk about how special it is to have this team join that group, and David Beckham and Zlatan, all the club legends, and have this group win a championship and join them now in the pantheon and to add to the history of this franchise?
Yeah, first, Maya, I mean, he is the ultimate professional, phenomenal leader. I mean, you think about, he played almost every minute of the entire season. That's incredible for anyone, but for Maya, outstanding. I mean, he's not a spring chicken anymore, but he's an incredible professional, incredible player. He had two young guys over the course of the season next to him, and Jalen Neal and Amiro, who he's trying to help teach the trade a little bit along the way. I mean, he's a warrior. I mean, all year he was, I told him the other day, he's got like a magnet in his head, because he's always, the balls are coming to him, he's heading them out, he's finding great spots, clearing, blocking, doing a lot of things inside of our box that that a lot of center backs don't love to do. Maya found a way to get it all done, and like I said, helping to lead some young guys around him is there's not much you can't say about what he's done for us this year. He's a warrior. I'm proud to have him on our team, and we're here also because of him and what he's been able to do with our group this year. This group, I think I think when you come to the LA Galaxy as a player or whoever, you come with the burden, but also the the North Star, if you will, or whatever the right word is, that you're trying to get into that history books, and you're trying to build on the legacy that is of the Galaxy, and you're trying to be a part of that. Whether that's the phenomenal players who've come through, or the 5 championships before today, now 6. These players come to the LA Galaxy because that's what the mission is, and because it is about being the best and being on the top and being in the legacy and history of the LA Galaxy. These guys deserve it. The way they've come together this year and competed, and the way they've played, there's many guys in this whole team will go down in the history as one of the great teams, I think, of the Galaxy, not just because of today, but all year. I mean, they broke all kinds of records all year in a club that has set a lot of records in the league over the years. These guys have broken a lot of those records over the years, so they should be remembered for it, and I believe they will because of the way they finished it off today.